Welcome to part 2 of a 3-part series titled Cliche, the Poetic Death of Language. If you have not seen part 1, it will be the first link in the description. Today, we will be discussing the life of a cliché. So, please turn your phones off, make notes of the exits, and enjoy. I was inspired to make these videos after watching a video essay from the channel The Closer Look. In his video, titled How to Bore Your Audience, Holmes and Watson, Hendry speaks on the use of cliché in literature and how the overuse of cliché can sap the original meaning of a phrase. To paraphrase an example he gave, when a reader or listener bears witness to the phrase, frozen like a deer in headlights, they do not conjure the image in their mind of a helpless creature equally lost and scared of a mechanical monstrosity as it barrels towards them, bringing confusion and terror, and its only certainty being death. Instead, the image in the audience's mind is simply shock. This isn't to say that once upon a time those words did not invoke that imagery, but its inevitable demise into cliché is what led to its loss of meaning as well. The literary phenomenon known as cliché is found in nearly every single artistic medium. I would wager that every poem, play, and movie experiences cliché to some degree. Yet for something so universal, labeling a work cliché is tantamount to a slur for a creator. Even the synonyms of the word, trite, hackneyed, banality, buzzword, vapid expression, etc., all share an irrefutable negative denotation. They all give mention to not only how a phrase is in popular use, but about how unoriginal and tired that phrase is. Heuristics, in psychology, are methods that the brain utilizes to come to a solution or conclusion more easily. With that in mind, in his essay on cliché, the supersedure of meaning by function in modernity, Dutch sociologist Anton Zieglerveld writes, quote, "Cliché is a traditional form of human expression, which, due to repetitive use in social life, has lost its original, often ingenious, heuristic power." While I agree with Zieglerveld, I, however, believe that cliché is not only the term for a fatigued expression, but for the life cycle of a popular term. All clichés, no matter how old, began somewhere. They start as original, clever phrases that devolve with further use. A cliché comes to be not because of the great poet who writes it, but instead the lesser poet that repeats it. Bulwer Lytton did not become a lesser writer when he began his novel on the French Revolution with the phrase, "It was a dark and stormy night." But even now, as I wrote this into my script, Google auto-completed "and stormy night." It is times like these, when words are so well crafted to fit together in such a pleasing yet succinct way, that we cannot help but repeat them. This is the first step of cliché. In a way, it is beautiful. The way that people can connect to each other so well that the ideas of one person can be understood by so many is one of the most wonderful things a person can do. After all, what, I ask you, is language if not for a mutual expression of understanding? In other, less attractive ways, it seems to me that the life cycle of a cliché is most similar to a living organism's growth and rot. Once the popularity of a phrase has risen to a climax, then the literary vultures begin to consume the phrase in its whole. It takes new form as an idiom, a grouping of words whose meaning is entirely separate from its individual parts. Here, the phrase begins to lose something. Gone is the nuance of a phrase's constituent parts, and its bones are picked clean of any emotion or impact, and the audience no longer has the duty to interpret its meaning. A fate worse than death becomes a bad outcome. You nearly gave me a heart attack becomes you surprised me. And the speed of light becomes simply fast. Clichés form in the moment when a phrase, trope, or idiom becomes recognizable not as what the author intended, but as being overused. The next phase of a cliché is, well, death. If a cliché becomes so hackneyed as to steer people away from even saying it, then a cliché's fame is what leads to its demise. Some clichés take millennia to die, if they ever do. Achilles' heel has been a cliché for vulnerability for thousands of years. But for every Achilles, there are thousands of clichés that have simply faded away. Often it is from a change in technology. No one talks about their boss riding them roughshod because horses are much less common than cars. Or that their lawyer has a grist to the mill over the prosecution because nobody uses water mills to grind up flour anymore. These clichés have died. Well, shucks. So what? Never use clichés? Or should I use them as much as I can while they still mean something? It's just death and nothing more. Not quite. There is another step in the life of a cliché. If you've been paying close attention to the words I've used, you might just have an idea what it is already. Unfortunately, it seems we've run out of time for today's episode. Today, we took what we knew about language and applied it to the life cycle of a cliché. We learned about how a phrase is formed, the rise, fall, and inevitable death of a cliché. Join me next time when we will talk about the final stage of cliché, the poetic death of language. Oh, we did it. We made it. I just finished filming this episode and I'm gonna go and edit it now. This episode has been one heck of a time to make. Between power outages and I've got an Eagle Scout Court of Honor coming up tomorrow and so much is going on. But thank you so much for watching. It truly means the world to me. I want to make this a thing and I think it can be good. Anyway, as always, links are in the description down below, maybe in the comments. if I forget them. Until I see you next time, hit you with the less than 3.